Hey everybody, Roxabox90 here with the giveaway results and Q&A answers for the 1,000 subscriber giveaway, which if you guys have noticed, we are now over 1,700 subscribers. So, wow, that's a pretty fast turnaround. It's been a month and then it was about 1,300, I guess. So, I'm very, very happy that all of you who've been joined on since the contest and are still with me or are new and coming on have joined the Roxbox 90 train. So thank you all for that, and I'm gonna give you guys back the winners for this giveaway. But before I do, I'm gonna go through all the questions. So you guys left me a lot of questions, a lot of questions. A lot of them are repetitive, so I'm going to try to answer every single person's. I know some YouTubers go through and then just skip some questions that are repetitive or they don't want to answer. I'm going to try to answer every single person's question. If it's redundant and you get a short shrift answer, I'm sorry, but I can only answer the same question so many times in so many ways. So as well, if there's any sort of, I guess, contradiction among my answers, it's probably because this is completely improv. I'm just going. So if I come across the question again and something else pops in my head, then that's how it's going to work. So we'll start off with Russell White. He says, what was your favorite unhinged unglued card? Night of the Hokey Pokey. I mean, there's a ton of funny unhinged unglued cards. So there's a ton, but Night of the Hokey Pokey is pretty hilarious. What was my first rare card? Was a foil Thorn Elemental from 7th edition. Pretty sure that's right. That's okay, I'm not even going to do the names. I'm just going to read the questions. You guys can see the names. Some of them are very difficult to pronounce. What was my first mythic rare? That's a tough question. I honestly don't remember. I was around when mythics first hit, and I was buying packs from all across that time. I'm not sure. I can't say. I have a lot. I have a lot of mythics, and was I happy with it? Well, I gave my thoughts about them in a different video. Michael Sitko, okay, what's your favorite color? Magic is black. Have you played with other big names in Magic? I don't know what you mean. Big names is a very subjective question because a lot of YouTubers are big names in the YouTube community. You mean big names in terms of like Richard Garfield and such? Then no, I have not had the pleasure of playing with some of the big names. When did I start playing Magic? That was, I don't know, 10, 12 years, about 12 years ago, I guess. If you had to marry a female character from MTG, which character would you marry? An angel. Okay, what were your 5 basic land arts? My favorites? Oh gosh, there's a lot. I mean, you can pick most from Ravnica are awesome. There is one Forest of Onslaught that has a sun in the middle of the forest. I like that one. I really like the Zendikar full art lands. The unglued lands are good too, but I really like the Zendikar full arts. I wouldn't say every single one. The island with a cyclonic rift thing going on, I like that one. I like the forest that has like a bow across. I think it's the most expensive foil one. I have at least 3 or 4 of them. And yeah, pick and choose from Ravnica mostly. I mean, there's a ton of good ones. Then we have another question. How do you get to be sponsored? I get this question a lot. Did they come to you, you go to them? Okay, so I'm not really going to go into sponsor relationships too much just because really it's a business matter and it's business relationships between different people, so it really is not a public thing to go into. How you got sponsored was I was growing at a reasonably quick rate. I reached out to them and they were looking to sponsor people on YouTube, and for a number of reasons they liked my channel, and that's how I got sponsored by them. Gavin Bartel, on a scale of 1 to Black Lotus, how good is this giveaway? But yeah, probably Black Lotus worthy just because it's an awesome giveaway. On a scale of 1 to Richard Garfield, how cool am I? I'm not so narcissistic and egocentric that I would say that I'm as cool as Richard Garfield, so to speak. I didn't come up with one of the awesomest card games ever, but I'm probably just a little shy of that. All right, so Zolo109, he says, Guilds, Wedges, Shards, Tournament Free-for-All, which one would I win? Which one do you think would win? I have no idea at all. Grixis, Esper, Bant, those 3 are all really, really powerful and are some of my favorites. Obviously, we know Jund is great. It's really hard to say which ones would win. I mean, personally, my Rafik deck is band colored and is pretty darn awesome. My Thraxamander deck, Grixis, is pretty awesome, and they win a lot. So yay! I guess I have no idea how to answer that question. How many decks do you have? Probably, I mean, I have four EDH decks and a whole bunch of 60 card constructed decks. So yeah, what are they? Four EDH decks. I have Omnath, Rafik, Thraxamander, and Drana are my EDH commanders. And other decks I have Blue Eye Control, Tempo, Builds, Reanimator. I don't know, I can't go through all of them. There's a bunch. How long I've been playing? Again, I said about 10 to 12 years. What's my favorite set? Good question. Onslaught, Future Sight, or both. Onslaught, Future Sight, Zendikar. Those are all up there. What drove me to start my channel? You guys, pretty much. I mean, I just put myself out there, mostly for trading originally, and then I started doing some videos and people liked them. And it's really just people consistently, various subscribers and other people who consistently push me, come on, we love your stuff, make more stuff, and giving me great advice and criticism. So thank you guys. That's why this channel is here. What MTG creature would you like as a pet? Dragons, please. I mean, who wouldn't want an awesome dragon? Finally, how do you look back on yourself as an MTG player? How do you think future you is going to look back? Positively. I like Magic. Magic's cool. Then, do you play any video games? I have an Xbox 360, played a bunch of the main games, like all the Mass Effects, Halo, I don't know. I don't play so much. I generally do it as a more, family or friend get-together sort of thing. I don't really play competitively single player. Bioshock. Still have to play through Bioshock 2, working on that. What's my favorite EDH commander? Rafik of the many, and why? Because he is awesome at beating people's faces in. No, I'm just kidding. I don't use him as a Voltron. Mostly he's good at pointing at other big creatures and telling them, you should do a good job, and then they make me win. So, I like him. Bandit Man. Okay, what's your favorite tribe and why? I don't know. I haven't thought about that. I like goblins and elves. Probably goblins. Mr. Dominator, what's your least favorite EDH commander? I don't really, I mean, I don't really play against any of the really broken ones. So in my meta, probably Momer Vig, just because he's a pain to deal with at 1v1. He's a really powerful controlling commander, and in 1v1, he usually can really control the board well. Not a fan of Momer Vig. What do I do for a living? That's a good question. I'm really not going to talk about it. It involves like public relations work. I guess that's like the most broad term I can think about. What's my favorite Magic card art? I don't know. I love a lot of the stuff. I mean, I love Theros. Probably, now that just off the top of my head, probably Arcanus the Omnipotent, because if you go look at his art, it's so cool. That overall card, even though he's not super playable and he never was crazy playable, I just love that card. No idea why. But the art is awesome. Then, did you buy all 5 Commander products? Not really. I think I bought 4 of them. I don't think I bought maybe I bought all 5. I don't remember. It was individual though. What color combination Planeswalker we'd like to see print in the future? Blue-green. We need a blue-green and we need a green-white. But green-white's probably happening with Ajani in this block, hopefully. And maybe even a blue-green. I really hope so. But actually probably green-white. Green-white's probably the one I want more. Favorite Planeswalker is Jace the Mind Sculptor. That's a question that most people would just answer Jace the Mind Sculptor because he is. If you could play any legacy deck, what deck would you play? Various Reanimator builds. I like Reanimator. What's your favorite color combo in EDH? Again, probably Rafik of the Many, which is Bant. Maybe Grixis, just because I run Thraxamander too and I like them a lot. What are you looking forward to in Magic's future? Awesome Magic the Gathering cards. I know, it's a pretty radical expectation, but yeah. Okay, Walter H. How do you feel about the French 1v1 dual commander format? It's a lot of fun. It has a whole different, rules list, but I think it makes the game a little faster and requires an interesting deck building technique. So I like what they've done with that, and I actually consider that's the 1v1 list I go to when I talk about banned cards for 1v1, or that you should run this in 1v1. I'm basing it off that list. Best overall card ever to be in standard. I have no idea. I just made a end of all magic cards, so I mean you have this individual card. Necropotence is pretty much up there in breaking games. Jace the Mind Sculptor, of course, we know. Umizawa's just I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of cards. There's a lot of cards. I'm just gonna say Necropotence because it could be about a number of things. Okay, what was your first MTG games deck? How did it go? I played against my cousin and lost horribly. I need to make a Kresh deck. Any ideas? Look up a Kresh deck on MTG Salvation and see what smarter people than me say about Kresh. Question, can I have a piece of cake? Sorry, we ate the whole thing, so no, you may not. With the enchantment, a monocolor heavy Theros of Bring, how do you think that's going to change the meta? Well, mono and two-color decks are going to become more viable in professional play and FNM play. How well would it do with RTR's multicolored? Again, I think it's just going to make the color shift more from 3+ colors to 1 to 3 color. One day, Vendilion met Tamio. They immediately haha, that's a pretty, yeah, okay. Moving on. Sky Hunter. Which Magic the Gathering plane is your favorite from a flavor perspective? Which plane could you see yourself best living on? Favorite flavor perspective? I like Dominaria a lot. That was pretty much when I started Magic. Dominaria was the plane, and we've come back to it at least once, twice, a bunch of times. So, short answer, I'll just say Dominaria. It's pretty cool. Which plane could you best see yourself living on? Not Zendikar, because I'd be dying to Eldrazi attacks. So, some other plane that doesn't involve Nicol Bolas blowing up the world, or Eldrazi blowing up the world, or, Yawgmoth invading the world. Somewhere that's a little more peaceful. I'd like some information on the 2013 Commander decks. Well, then stay tuned. What was your favorite standard format and why? You mean back in the day? I never really had any because I never played competitively. So the times when Magic wasn't broken and, there were only 3 decks in the top 8. Back that time, those times. How did you hear about the new stuff? How do I hear about... Oh, wait, okay, that's not a question. Next. If you could design your own general for EDH, what would it do? I have no idea at all. Honestly, I'm not on R&D, so I'm not a good designer. In terms of that, I would just say I like the new stuff from the Commander 2013 in terms of playing off the additional penalty costs. So something in that vein. Then, wonder what my username means. This actually is a question. Roxaboxen is a story. It's actually a children's book that I really loved as a kid, and you guys can look it up. It's a pretty good book, and pretty much that's where it comes from. 90 is pretty much random numbers. Okay, brand new question, brand new player. What's the difference between Commander, EDH, and Cube formats? Commander and EDH are the identical formats. Commander is just the more modern name because Elder Dragon Highlander is just confusing to newer players, and Wizards wants to market the format, so they did Commander. You're in command, blah blah blah. It's the same format. Cube is more like a draft format where you can make your own booster packs, where you pre-sleeve cards, one of each from all over Magic. You build your cube, and then you shuffle them up into booster packs and draft, and you play drafts and sealeds that way. If I want to play Commander, do you have to buy a Commander playset like the one you're giving away? Absolutely not. You can just build your own from boosters or trading, or you buy a mass lot. You can do it that way. And thank you on the congratulations. Which Commander do you think is best for people new to EDH? Monocolored ones because they're just simpler to build, so I would go with that. Moving right along, we have another question. What's your downright favorite Magic card? Again, it's kind of a very broad question. I'm going to say... I don't know what I'm going to say, actually. It's a good question. As I said, I really like Arcanus. I don't really know why, but, in terms of his playability, is not crazy awesome. But something about that card, the flavor text, the art, something about it's awesome. What does it make you like it so much? That's why. So I would say mechanics are cool because it has a lot of card draw and it can protect itself. But flavor-wise is the reason. And history-wise is that when I was collecting Onslaught, it was probably my favorite card from Onslaught at the time. Nice job. Okay. What's your first deck you ever made? It was something elf mono greenish related, I think. I had a foil Thorn Elemental in 7th, so that was, I think, pretty sure it was that. Out of all legendary creatures, which do you think has the best background story flavor and all that juicy stuff? The ones that tie into the book series, pretty much. I don't know if one in particular, but the book series are pretty awesome, and a lot of them, like for example, Toshiro Umezawa doesn't really have much in terms of a anything on the card, but in the series he's the main character and very important. So a lot of the characters that connect to the books, a lot of the books, and they're all pretty awesome, to be quite frank. I mean, you could say easily, well, Nicol Bolas because he's been everywhere, but just general reading the books and such. And probably the coolest overall character in terms of these backstories from all of Magic is Urza, but there wasn't a card of Urza, so doesn't really count, I guess. Who do you feel is the most powerful commander? The ones that are banned. I mean, Rafellos is ridiculous, so that's why he's banned. Grizzlebrand is the most recent, most crazy commander. Azami's pretty insane. Grand Arbiter, Uriel's pretty good. I don't know, there's a lot of really powerful commanders out there. Probably the most powerful, the two center ones that are banned. Braids is also pretty ridiculous. Ryo was banned mostly because of annoyance, less than raw power. So, yeah, the banned ones. What would you like to see the most coming in Theros? More cool spoilers, and guys, come on, at Wizards, you gotta work harder to put out your spells, because we have a billion creatures and need more spells. And see the Titans come back. I would hope they don't come back, actually, just because they are the most powerful 6-drop cards we've had in pretty much all of Magic's history. And to bring them back would, again, make the format about them. So I hope they don't. And they put Sun Titan in the Heroes versus Monsters. Hopefully that's enough Titans. We should have other Titans if we're going to have Titans. Okay. What happened to Pack in Time? Well, my sponsors give me packs, and when they do, I put them into Pack in Time. So I haven't gotten packs recently. I'm hopefully going to be getting some soon. When I do, then those will come back. What's the best pack of Magic I've ever opened? The foil Vendilion Clique was pretty good. I opened a foil Clique and a Kira from Modern Masters in the same pack. That was pretty cool. For me, back in the day, Vizara the Dreadful foil was probably the coolest pick. At the time, it was $30 to $40. And I opened a pack, single pack, the last one in an onslaught box in a random store, and I got that card. That was probably the most, jump in the air, freak out pack opening that jumps to the top of my mind. Will there be an update of your EDH decks, especially Thraxamunder, when necessary, I guess? Why do you really want to play Magic, and what format did you get started in? I got started in casual FNM standard, I guess, back in 7th edition time. Why did you really want to play Magic? Because my cousin played, was much better than me, and I want to beat him. That was the simple reason. But also because my friends had just started playing, and I wanted to play with them. So that's pretty much happens. Do you play Duel of Planeswalkers? No, but it seems like a fun game. My friend plays it. I've always found your videos. Okay, when not playing MTG, what other hobbies do you have? What type of people are your least favorite to play against? People who are sore players, probably even more than sore losers. I don't mind if someone plays fairly and walks away, as just loserish. But when you're playing with someone and they're aggravating and, making bad comments and stuff during the game, those are the least favorite to play against. Other hobbies, I read books. I weightlift. I weightlift a lot, actually. And, yeah, I mean, those are my main hobbies, I guess. I just try to have fun. Let's see. What is the best pack you ever opened? I pretty much said that already. I would absolutely love to. Okay, I'd like to know greatest memory with the game. Greatest memory with Magic. A lot of my EDH Commander games are probably the most fun. Probably the greatest old school memory was playing with my cousin and winning for the first time. That was pretty much my favorite. And I wish I had more details about that, but I don't remember. What was my first constructed deck? Was an Elvish mono green, I think it was. Elf mono green. Can you please show us your face? Then where would the mystery be if I showed you all my face? There would be no mystery to me. and I like being mysterious. Also, will you send prizes to Europe? Okay, I got this question also in PMs. We'll work something out. Probably if the individual cards, if you win those, then yes, depending where you are and such. But if I'm shipping internationally, the Devour for Power is going to be probably hard to do, so we'll be in touch about that. Awesome, I got to play with Brandon Sanderson. Is he good at Magic? He's pretty good, I guess. I mean, I won the time I played against him. We played 2v2, and I was the pretty much the reason why we beat him. He didn't have his best deck, though it wasn't exactly fair. But he's more of a fun player. He enjoys playing. He cracks jokes. He doesn't mind losing to pretty much anyone, and I really like that about him. He's very he's a competent player, but it's more about having fun than it is about winning, and I'm a big fan of that. How do you start playing Magic? Again, my cousin. Do you ever play Magic the Gathering online? I've never played it. I've played variants of it. Other websites that let you do it for free. Obviously, none of them are as good as Magic the Gathering Online, or at least none that I've played. So I wish I did, but given how much time and money I've invested in paper, I'm probably going to stick with that for a while, unless I really need to switch for some reason. Who's your favorite pro player? I like Louis Scott Vargas. I like Jerry Thompson, not necessarily as a person per se, but in terms of as a player. Uh, and there are other players who on and off. I mean, John Finkel, of course, but anyone would say that. Anyone could say that. So, yeah, those are a couple. Do you think a Simic EDH deck with Kraj Commander is any good? Well, if you look up on MTG Salvation's forums, you look up a good Kraj the Commander deck, then yes, but I've never built a good one, and I've never built one at all. What's your first ever MTG related thing that you purchased? Again, probably some booster packs and the 7th edition intro starter set that comes with the foil Thorn Elemental. How do you keep up with spoilers so easily when they're coming out? I have actually subscribers. Often will throw me a PM about something new that they saw somewhere. I'll use MTG Salvation, I'll use Daily MTG, I'll use any number of news websites. And I pull it together, and generally I try to sort the fake spoilers from the real spoilers so that you guys get the best information possible. Favorite Planeswalker of all time flavor-wise? Good question. I don't really know. I really like Tibalt in terms of a flavor. The Devil Planeswalker just feels really cool. Nicol Bolas, I've just known forever because I've read most of the books, and he's pretty much all over the place, and he's a major Planeswalker. So, Teferi, Urza are probably story-wise some of my favorites, just in terms of their very complex, interesting characters, and Tibalt's probably from the cards in terms of flavor, not in terms of goodness, because he's anything but good. If I had to create my own set, what would he be based around and why? Actually, Greek and Roman mythology. I think I should I think if we had a set that was Greek Roman mythology that had god-like creature enchantments that were monocolored, I think that would be a pretty awesome set. So yeah, that would be the set. Oh wait, that's all tongue in cheek, guys. But seriously, Greek Roman mythology is very cool. I hadn't actually thought about this question before. Some other historical period, maybe something a little more George R. R. Martin like, something that relates to our own history somewhere, somehow, but has a lot of fantastical elements. What are your favorite commanders? The ones I play, pretty much. Thraxamander, Rafiq, Omnath, and Drana. What's your favorite Magic set? Future Sight, again, like Future Sight, Zendikar, Onslaught are all up there. Yeah. What pre-M14 boosters would you recommend me buy to get better flavor for mechanics of the game? Other core sets are probably a good idea. Otherwise, just talk to people locally. What got you into Magic? My cousin. What do you feel about Tajik as a commander? Tajik's not all that good as a commander, I think, but you could look up. I'm sure someone built a good deck with him. What's your favorite Magic card of any set? I kind of tried to answer this question. It's too. I'll just say, yeah. I kind of answered it before. It's a hard question to answer. How long do you see yourself playing Magic? As long as I enjoy the game, I suppose. What do you think about the contest FTV 20? I made a video about this. I recently got, okay, I use Mimeoplasm, but he doesn't seem to be up to par with Maelstrom Wanderer 10 of the Harvester, probably because you're just not running him right. I'm sorry, but I think he's equally powerful to either of these commanders. What competitive general do you recommend that's also fun? As I said, I run Rafik, but I don't run it competitively, even though he is a majorly competitive commander. Three color, black, and maybe green. Gave is very, very powerful combo. Definitely a competitive general, especially in the right combo deck. My brother loves Gave, so I'll just say Gave Guru Spores. Look him up. What colors do you think is most powerful in EDH? One single color, black, just because it has answers and does pretty much everything that all the other colors do. Monocolored decks, the least fun is just building a blue deck. Not that it has answers to everything, but you just throw enough counter magic and tempo magic. You throw enough of it into one deck, and it will probably do very well. But my favorite color, and arguably the most powerful, I think, is black. Because it has everything. It has ramp removal, everything. Rotation of standard play seems difficult to understand. It's not that difficult. It's the last two-ish blocks, and it rotates out. So, for example, the Innistrad block will be rotating when Theros hits. I'm pretty sure that's, yeah. Furthermore, when you first started, did you find, actually, is that true? Yeah, Innistrad block. When you first started, did you find that jumping the game seemed a bit of a problem? No, because my cousin explained a lot of the rules, so it was pretty clear. I had to get used to more competitive rules when I started talking about stuff on YouTube, so I had to do a little bit of research to check, a lot of the rules that I thought I knew, but no, it wasn't that hard. Do you ever force yourself to make videos, and if so, what makes you make content? Yes, when I'm sick, when I'm tired, when a lot of stuff comes out and I'm really busy, yeah, it's hard to make videos, but I do it because A, you guys seem to appreciate it, and B, I enjoy talking about Magic, so it's kind of a nice thing to do at the end of a day, or just when you're tired and such. Even when it's hard to do, it's fun. So that's why. What's the main thing that grabbed you at Magic? It's just a cool game. I like the art, and really the art and flavor is even more important to me, I think, than the overall play type. I would keep certain cards foiled even if I stopped playing, just because of the way they look and such. And this is what made me more interested in Magic over Yu-Gi-Oh! Favorite artwork in Magic, again, is a little too unspecific. There's a ton of good artwork. How many command decks do I have? I have 4. What's your favorite MTG card of all time that one you enjoy playing with the most? I'm sorry, it's a little too unspecific. So I'll try to go a little faster. What do you think about comboing off to winning Commander? I think that's fine. It's really how quickly you combo off, and if your combo off does it ruin the game for people. Meaning, if you've earned it, the game's been going on a while, and you pull off a combo and manage to win, awesome. If you combo off and win really, really fast, or everyone's having a good time and then you just combo off to win and ruin everything for everyone, I don't like that. Otherwise, I think it's fine, honestly. If you can pull off the combo, good for you. This is why combos that are like 2 card combos are ridiculous, and generally in my meta we try to do three or more cards, just because it's much harder to set up. And if you can, you deserve to win. Is there any card you prize above all others because it's the first of many favorites from each set over the years? Again, Thorn Elemental is just really nostalgic. Vizara the Dreadful was another one that hit me pretty nostalgic-wise. Arcanus the Omnipotent. Prize above all others. Yeah, those pretty much. Okay, is Aurelia a good Voltron general? I'm sure you could make her. I wouldn't think so, personally. She requires a bit much to work, but I'm sure you could build a good deck with her. Red-green aggro is going to do after rotation. It's going to continue to beat face and win. That's pretty much what's going to happen. What's your favorite pet card in EDH that you use and not many others use? I love Hall of the Gemstone, which often locks down a lot of players. Contamination is another fun one that makes my black deck awesome and makes everyone else slow down so I win. Other cards, Vernal Bloom, I don't know, just there are a lot of good cards. If you look at my decks, I'm sure you can find some that I say in those, the ones that are more unusual. What's your favorite deck of all time? I have no idea. I mean, Reanimator probably. Is it still together to show us? Not so much. Sorry, but Reanimator probably. What's your favorite MTG card altogether? Again, I kind of answered that. I don't have an answer, pretty much. What's your opinion on Theros pre-release hero system? I gave my opinions in previous videos. I think that it's unfair to make something that forces players to go to all three events to have the full experience. I don't like that. Which commander would you say hate the most? But Momor Vig is also, again, one of my most hated. Momor Vig is probably more the deck, because I think you can run Edric in the same sort of deck, and it's just a pain to play against. Those are the ones I just don't like so much. Okay. It's cool to see your channel growing. Would I make a video with Top and Go production? Well, I hadn't considered it, but if they're interested, I'm sure we could do something. What's the favorite deck I've played over the years? Again, probably Reanimator. How do you feel the history of the world would be different had Jace been in command of the Ottoman Empire? Well, not much actually. Jace doesn't seem like he commands very well, so if anything, he probably would do a worse job than Saladin did. So, yeah, I think he would probably be worse than whoever was in charge of the Ottoman Empire. And not much would be different except the Ottomans might have lost a lot earlier than they did. How do you come up with your name? Roxaboxen is based on a children's story, which I spoke about, and the numbers are fairly randomish. Hey, how much time do you spend each day uploading MTG videos? 10, 20 minutes. Usually not too long. I mean, the videos themselves, it depends on the length, but on average, it's probably 10, 20 minutes. What's my favorite format? EDH Commander. Cube is coming up there. I like Cube a lot. First Commander deck and it's mono red. Who do you think is most fun general? Most fun would be Norin, because Norin is just really weird. But otherwise, I don't know, mono red. Krenko could be fun, I think, if you're a newer player. Let's see. If you have good suggestions to new players looking to enter a format such as Modern or EDH without a huge card base, you're in trouble. I mean, not in terms of EDH, but in terms of Modern, because if you want to play Modern well, you have to shell out a good amount of money. You're going to need a lot of the staple cards. So that's going to be really tough. EDH, not as much. You can definitely run solid budget decks, and since EDH is a more casual format, it shouldn't be too bad. What's your favorite deck you've ever played? My favorite homebrew deck? Probably my EDH decks, because I built them. Obviously, I had advice from people, but I tried to build them fairly from scratch. What's my favorite set and reason why? Again, Future Sight, Zendikar, Onslaught are all up there. Okay, what you've become my favorite. Okay, I just want to know, when did you first start playing Magic? Late 90s, early 2000s, pretty much. What's your favorite set? Again, I've answered that just before. Thank you. Would love if you did more EDH stuff. What's your favorite type of Magic, like Standard, Modern, Legacy, EDH? EDH probably, and Cube as a follow-up. The other ones are more competitive, and I prefer playing casual more often. Then, what's your thoughts on the red legendary rules and how they'll affect Theros? I think they'll make Theros either more annoying to play against, i.e. Rurik Thar, and you play Rurik Thar, but probably more fun just because of the amount of legendaries. You don't want the set to devolve into legendary, kill legendary, kill legendary, kill legendary, and that's the format. That would be dumb. Favorite card MTG ever? I can't answer that question again. What was your first rare you opened out of the first pack you opened? I honestly don't remember. It's been a long time. What are you most looking forward to in Theros? That's a good question. I like that they're focusing on monocolor, because we've been in multicolor realm for a very long time. What made you want to start a Magic channel on YouTube? I wanted to trade for cards I needed, and then I just continued making stuff. Favorite part about YouTube? Honestly, the openness and the people in the community. I mean, the general community at large. I really just appreciate being able to talk to such great people and being involved with them and having, overall great feedback and conversations about my favorite card game. So it's just a wonderful community. Then we have, what's your favorite legacy deck? Again, Reanimator. Various types of Reanimator. What's your favorite color or combination of colors of Magic and why? Black is my favorite monocolor. Brandon Sanderson plays Magic. Yes, it is awesome. Okay, have I read the Wheel of Time series? I read all of them, and I've read most of Brandon Sanderson's works. So if you want to shoot me questions about those or want to chat about that, you can. Wheel of Time, I read the entire thing. It's not for everyone, but I enjoyed it overall. Have you ever been to a GP or PTQ? Not personally, no. I just never had the opportunity to. Why did you get into Magic? Family. Pretty much cousin. Does this count as a question? I guess, yeah, it does, sure. Will I ship internationally? Again, I talked about this. I'm not. Internationally is going to be a bit hard with Devour for Power, so we'll figure it out individually if the winner is that. Okay, do you remember the date you started? Again, 90s, 2000. Have you ever played the Horde Magic format? No, I have not. Well, I'm always wondering what big challenge you started out like. You can see my initial videos. It was pretty much trade binders and small videos, lots of trades, and then I slowly started making videos with my thoughts and started from there. And that's pretty much it. Most people started that way. They start very small and they put out some videos and see if people start responding to them, they keep putting out. Oh, sorry, there's some rushing water in the ceiling. Favorite draft format of all time? Cube without a question. Favorite format of Magic, Cube, or EDH Commander? Are you thinking of doing more Cube videos? Yes, I am. My Cube, I just did my first major playtest, so we're getting closer to the point where I can put up my very rough build. Let's see. If I had 2 of the Power 9, which would you keep and what would you shred into tiny pieces? I would shred the Time Twister because Time Twister I think is the worst of the Power 9 and my least favorite personally. And I would keep the Black Lotus because it's worth the most. And it's awesome. Do you have any suggestions for cheap or fun EDH decks, Commander decks? If you're looking for budgets or eternal builds or whatever, go to MTG Salvation, go to their forum for Commander, and they have great budget builds. I'm not the person to talk about that because my decks are not budget. Then question, have you ever made it onto the competitive scene? No. Most people in the community who are sponsored have at some point. I have not. Sorry about that. I enjoy casual. Doesn't mean I don't keep up with stuff going on, but I don't play competitively. Are you Jerry Thompson? No. Though I would like to think it'd be awesome if I was as smart as him, but if I had his brains added into my brains minus the hair job, then yes, I'd just look terrible as a blonde. What's your favorite color? Not in a magic sense. Black. Yep, I'm pretty consistent. Is there anything you'd decide to add to the ban list for Commander if you got the chance? Maybe Soren Markov, depending on the format. Other than that, no, not really. They do a pretty good job. What I want Theros to contain, watch my spoilers and you'll know. What dual land cycle do you think will be in Theros? We know it's a scry land, and you can see that in one of my more recent videos. Can you post more Commander videos? I would like to, if I have time. What gets wetter as it dries? I'm going to say a towel drying dishes, because as it dries things, it gets wetter. Read Renaissance's book. What card do you think will be the most expensive card in M14? I would have said Archangel of Thune even before the set came out, and I'm pretty sure I'm still right. What's your first Magic set you played? It was 7th edition time. I think it was 7th edition. It's really cool you're doing a giveaway. What's your favorite deck you've ever played? Answered that already. It's Reanimator, pretty much. Favorite color is black. How do you start MTG Cube? Where to start? That's a hard question. Go look up the rules. Look up some other cubes that have been built that are good or that fit the style you want to play. And then think of your favorite cards in Magic and put into a big mess, and then you start testing. And it's a very complicated process. I'll talk more about it when I start putting up more Cube videos. Okay. My question is, what card do you think Wizards made the worst mistake on? Well, it's probably Skull Clamp, just because they should have seen that coming. I mean, making a ridiculously powerful sack outlet seems like a bad idea. Necropotence, they tried to balance it. Obviously it wasn't, but they had some idea of what they were doing. Skull Clamp, just not. Sorry. So probably Skull Clamp. Jace the Mind Sculptor, they were still playing with Planeswalkers, so they didn't know that it would be that powerful. But Skull Clamp, probably. Okay, excluding the obvious, so Skull Clamp. When do you start playing Magic? Answered that already. What's your favorite format? Cube, Commander. What setup do you use? The usual. I'm interested in producing content on this channel with a friend. What would you say is the easiest way to get started? Make videos that you guys want to make. And that's probably a good way to start. How long have you been playing Magic? A long time. What's your favorite song of all time? That's literally an impossible question for me to answer. Just pick the one you usually listen to. I listen to symphonic metal as a genre. So most things in symphonic metal I will listen to. If you could have any creature card in Magic as a pet, what would it be? Dragon. How old am I? I am in my 20s. Thank you for my comments. I've been following my question. How many tournaments have you won or competed in? I've won none, in that I don't really compete. I've played in some pre-releases and FNMs, and that's it. What's the best or worst card in M14? Best card, my opinion, is Archangel of Thune. Others, what's the worst card? Any of the ones that do basically nothing and are terrible. What's your power and toughness if I can make a card? That's a creature card. And I don't know, something weird. Somehow a 0/0 that functions as a card. That's what I would like to do. What inspired you to do articles and to make videos? Pretty much having people respond positively. If you were to give yourself a mana cost, what would it be? I'd give myself mana cost of negative infinity because I don't think they've printed a card with negative infinity before. Let's see, if I would pick the commander deck, then the lines of 3 other cards. Okay. When do you start playing Magic? Answer that. What's your favorite EDH deck you own? Rafiq of the Many. What's your favorite creature card from any set, regardless if it's good or not? Arcanus the Omnipotent. Most expensive single Magic card I own? Probably a revised Underground Sea. That's probably up there. Chase the Mind Sculptor and that are probably the most expensive. And it's whatever, $175, $200, something like that. Favorite Magic card, including my cost of 7, probably Elish Norn. Love her art so much. Favorite Kamigawa card is Umezawa Jite because it's just too awesome. What's your overall commander? I don't know what that means. I'm presuming it means my favorite, which is Rafiq. What's your favorite guild among the 10 Ravnica ones? Good question. Dimmer is just really cool flavor-wise. Boros, in terms of playability, is probably up there along with Azorius and Golgari. What do you think about the next MTG collection to come? I haven't thought about it yet, actually. Cube, probably. What do you want to see in Theros? Look at my spoiler videos. That's what I want to see. My question in all your years of playing Magic, how much money do you think you spent? That's a tough question. I'm presuming in the thousands, but not in the tens of thousands. Can you do an EDH deck tech with her for Jaleva? Maybe. I mean, she's not out yet. So when she comes out, maybe. But MTG Salvation is usually the place to go for people who like to make cool decks. And for me, it takes a long time for me to make my decks. So I'll try. But no guarantees. There. Okay. What would you say is your favorite card to use? Again, a little too unspecific. I'm sorry. What made you want to start a channel? Trading on YouTube, and then everyone just sucked me in. What do your sponsors actually give you? They do not give me money. They give me Magic stuff. Packs, cards, and stuff like that. How much money do you think is in your binder? Right now, not so much because so much of it's going to Cube. I probably have, many thousands of dollars worth of Magic cards in total. Fingers crossed, okay. The question is, I have little knowledge. I've heard some cards aren't considered legal. How would you know? You can look up online. There's a thing called Google. You could look up online and find out. Some of the non-legal cards are cards that are in the unglued and unhinged sets. Cards that are fake, which you can tell in any number of ways. Some ways are you just look at it. Then you can also bend the card in half. The bend test is usually pretty good. Other non-legal cards, not tournament legal, are official prints of professional decks. I forget the name of the series, but they're basically a red and black backed card with a signature on them of real cards from professional play in the past, so those aren't legal either. And you just look up the rest online, but there's a lot of cards that are not legal. Favorite Magic card? I kind of answered that. Question is, in your opinion, what's the worst Magic card ever printed? Wow. Or it's the best Magic card, or the best one ever printed. Card that makes you... Is there a card that really hurts you, that makes you lose, that just has no playability? I mean, you could say boring, generic, nothing cards, but it's hard to say. Let's see, how do you think I should start a collection of cards? If you're really new, you could buy booster packs, but if you want to play like FNM, you want to play with a deck, probably just buy the singles for the deck. Overall, it's cheaper. If you're just buying for fun or to flesh out a collection, packs can be fun. It's really, again, you can look at my buying MTG packs video. I go into more detail. It depends on your situation. You could always PM me if you have more questions. Favorite Planeswalker, Chase the Mind Sculptor. It's probably it. Probably that, yeah. Let's see. What block or set? What's the most block or set, not including Alpha, Beta, Unlimited, Revised, most powerful in Magic: The Gathering? That's a good question. I'm not really sure. An individual block or set. Mirrodin's pretty powerful. Zendikar block. That's a tough question. It all depended on the meta at the time. Was your first commander deck? Mine was Joy of the Kitsu. Mine was probably, I think it was Omnath. Rafiq was my official first one that that was probably my main one, but Omnath, it's either Rafiq or Omnath. Who's the better commander for Simic Aggro EDH? Vorl of the Hull Clade or Experiment Kraj? Depends how you build them. They both could be solid. I would presume Experiment Kraj because it makes lots of guys or makes lots of counters to mess around with guys. So I would presume Experiment Kraj, but if you want to find out, go to MTG Salvation and look up the different decks. Mono black is the way to go. What's my favorite color to play? Well, I like mono black. If you're talking about mono color, mono black's my favorite. What's your first Magic the Gathering card? I'm just gonna say the Foil Thorn Elemental because that was the first cool card I owned. Favorite card and why? Again, it's a little unspecific. I'll just say Arcanus again because of the flavor and such, and he's pretty up there. Whew, wow. Okay, so that's a really, really long Q&A video, and if you guys actually watch the whole thing, I'll be amazed. But let's get to the giveaway itself. Okay, everyone. So this is the giveaway results. So I put in everyone's name on this Excel spreadsheet. Most people got 2 entries because they asked questions, and we have 1 through 333. So we're going to do the random number generator. The first winner person will have the choice of the 3 prizes, presuming there's no international issue, and we'll deal with that if that arises. But presuming there's no international issue, the first person gets to pick which one they want, second person of the remaining 2, and the third person gets whatever's left. So number 1, generating 264. Who is that? 264, Mr. Beastly Biscuit. You have first pick of the prizes. So be messaging you about that. Next up we have 157. Let's see who that is. Tuna 1694. So I'm just going to Tuna 1694. You get second choice. So after Mr. Beastly Biscuit gets back to me, then I'll tell you the remaining 2 and you'll get to pick one of the 2. And the third place who gets whatever's left is number 118, which is is that supposed to be Ricochet? Ricochet. I think it's supposed to be Ricochet Ocelot. Okay, so that is the giveaway. Thank you if you guys managed to get through all the question and answers. I hope you guys enjoyed those videos and those answers. Some of them, I'm sorry, were very broad, difficult questions, so I didn't quite answer them so well. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the whole video, and thanks for watching and staying true to my channel. So thank you again, everyone, and Roxabox90. I'm signing out. I'll see you guys next time.